House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff responded to calls for his resignation during a committee hearing on Russian interference in elections on Thursday. The demands for Schiff's resignation came after the conclusion of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation last Sunday into possible collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russian government in 2016. Despite Mueller finding no evidence of such a conspiracy as detailed in his report, Representative Schiff maintains there was illegal collaboration between President Trump and Russia. Schiff told the Washington Post on Tuesday, quote, "Undoubtedly there is collusion. We will continue to investigate the counterintelligence issues. That is the president or the people around him compromised in any way by a hostile foreign power? It doesn't appear that this was any part of Mueller's report," end quote. During the hearing, House Republicans took the opportunity to call for Schiff's resignation as chairman in person, echoing similar demands from Republican leadership and the president. Early in the proceedings, Representative Mike Conaway of Texas criticized Schiff's past comments on the Mueller investigation.
Indeed, before the appointment of Robert Mueller as special counsel, you alleged during one of your frequent television interviews that there was, quote, more than circumstantial evidence, quote, of collusion, but that you could, quote, not go into the particulars, close quote. Your repeated public statements, which implied knowledge of classified facts supporting the collusion allegations, occurred at the same time anonymous leaks of alleged intelligence and law enforcement information were appearing in the media. These leaks were often sourced to current or former administration or intelligence officials, appeared to support the collusion allegations, and were purported to be related to ongoing investigations of President Trump and his associates.
Conaway then stated that Mueller's findings were consistent with those of the House Intelligence Committee's investigation into Russian collusion.
The special counsel's investigation did not find that the Trump campaign or anyone associated with conspired or coordinated with Russia in its efforts to influence the 2016 presidential election. Special Counsel Mueller's findings are consistent with those of this committee, as well as the public statements of various senators on the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence.
For this reason, Conaway says that Schiff's statements before and after the conclusion of Mueller's investigation have been alarming and that he should step down as committee chairman.
Your actions, both past and present, are incompatible with your duty as chairman of this committee, which alone in the House of Representatives has the obligation and authority to provide effective oversight of the U.S. intelligence community. As such, we have no faith in your ability to discharge your duties in a manner consistent with your constitutional responsibility and urge your immediate resignation as chairman of the committee.
Schiff responded by accusing Conaway of using the hearing as an opportunity to attack him and continued to list behaviors by President Trump and his administration that he finds alarming, including the 2016 Trump Tower meeting and former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn's communication with Russian ambassadors.
You might say that's all okay. You might say that's just what you need to do to win. But I don't think it's okay. I think it's immoral. I think it's unethical. I think it's unpatriotic. And yes, I think it's corrupt and evidence of collusion. Now, I have always said that the question of whether this amounts to proof of conspiracy was another matter. Whether the special counsel could prove beyond a reasonable doubt the proof of that crime would be up to the special counsel, and I would accept his decision, and I do. He's a good and honorable man, and he is a good prosecutor. But I do not think that conduct, criminal or not, is okay. And the day we do think that's okay is the day we will look back and say that is the day America lost its way.
Members of the committee continued the exchange during the hearing, taking the opportunity to express their views before questioning the panel of experts on Russian election interference, which included former U.S. Ambassador to Russia Michael McFaul and former CIA Chief of Russian Operations Stephen Hall. Ohio Congressman Mike Turner invoked McCarthyism to criticize Schiff's leadership.
Mr. Chairman, in your opening statements, you attacked in true McCarthy fashion each and every one of this. You stated that you stated what we think. You can't say what we think. It's the lowest form of any argument to attack someone. Now, what we have said is we've come forward and said that we all think that your leadership of this committee is compromised, in part because you behave as if your fellow members of this committee are your enemy. You behave as if the president is also similarly your enemy. And in true McCarthy fashion, you act as though you are the only one who is capable of protecting this nation, and everyone else is a co-conspirator who have suspected intentions.
Illinois Representative Mike Quigley defended Schiff by denouncing former Chairman Devin Nunes and referring to comments from former acting director of the CIA, Mike Morrell.
Mike Morrell said what the Russians did was the political equivalent of 9/11. I fear that what the administration has done and this former chairman, not the current chairman, has done will have far greater and more profound impact on our country, on the ability of the intelligence community and the Justice Department to do its job. So it's simple to say and talk about these things, but it was just last March in which Chairman Nunes said he had uncovered evidence that the intel community, we would assume the FBI and NSA, had improperly monitored and unmasked Trump transition teams. And he rushed off to the White House to tell them all about this. It was just one of many string of activities to undermine what we were attempting to do to find the truth.
The jabs overshadowed the panel's testimony, where McFaul warned about the major threat Russia poses to the U.S.
I want to start with some good news. The ideological struggle between communism and capitalism during the Cold War is over. That's the end of my good news. The bad news is that there is a new ideological fight between Putinism in the West, and it's only just begun. And in my estimation, we as a country are underestimating it, and we're not focused enough on it. And that's what I want to address in my brief remarks.
From Radio America, I'm Christian Whittle.